Hey folks, we're going to do a quick garden update today. It's been crazy times. I've been crazy busy, haven't had a whole lot of time to do some gardening updates and garden videos. I'm going to release another one probably tomorrow or Monday. That's going to be showing how I do grass suppression in my garden, so definitely check that out. We'll follow up. I'm going to do planting potatoes in pots. Those are coming along excellently. We're going to do trellis. I believe it's trellis 3 ways that I'm doing in the garden. So want to just take you along today and kind of show you how things were progressing in the garden. It's looking excellent. So coming into the garden, you can see we got the cow panel hoop trellis going on here on either side. We have, of course, you can see big nice watermelon here. We get on the other side so the sun's not shining in our face. Got a nice little icebox melon here. This thing's doubling in size about every day or about every other day. So that'll get probably 4, 5, 6 pounds. You might not think you can grow these on a trellis. We got watermelon. We also got cantaloupe we're doing on this trellis, of course, as well as cucumbers here. You can see these cucumbers doing just fine on this trellis. So what happens when you do heavier fruit like cantaloupe, watermelon? This stem will actually get thicker and get stronger to support that fruit as it grows up. So all doing well. Have beans here going that I've started picking the last couple days. The flowers are coming up. We got peppers, got cayenne peppers here in the corner. Those are flowering. And all these plants, all of these except for the cayenne pepper, but these are some poblano peppers we have here. We got some strike, I believe these are strike bush beans. Look at these. That's why I grow these beans. You don't need a whole ton of plants to get a whole ton of beans. These are strike beans and I highly recommend those. I've been growing these last couple seasons and they do produce. These were all started from seed on January the 18th. You can go back, I'll link our seed starting video on that. You can see the little cucumbers coming up on here. We got a couple more watermelons piping up, but these are all doing excellent. Get lit. I'm going to do a trellis 3 ways. I'm going to give you a little view on that. We got another trellis there using some those are the wire concrete reinforced panels I had extra from building the house. You can probably make out a couple more cucumbers floating in there. We have eggplant flowering. I've been picking eggplant. I did my first batch of that, some oriental eggplant. You can see these tomato plants. Guys, these are the super fantastic tomatoes and they are blossoming and blooming like crazy. Let me give me a look at how many tomatoes we got on here. I think I counted 22 just on this one plant. And again, these are all planted January 18th from seed. That is about 4 foot tall, close to 20 tomatoes on it. So as this grows up, it's an indeterminate. It's gonna get up to 6 or 7 feet before I top it off. So these tomatoes, excellent. I cannot say enough good things about them. This is one plant. I'm trimming it just in 2 main stalks. So we have one main stem coming up here. We have another stem. I'm doing a dual method. So what I'm doing is just breaking off these suckers that grow in the armpit of each plant. Just break those off, and that focuses all your growth and all your blooms on these here. Being such a hot, humid climate, you can see we got another main one here. That's a huge sucker. You just bend that over, break it off. That focuses all the growth toward your blooms. Being a hot southern climate, I find I have better luck to trim that up into either a single stalk or a double stalk like I have here. That helps with the wilt and the mildew and all that that these tomatoes are susceptible to. And I use my tomato clips. You can see here, tomato clips. You just clip that around the string and then clip it to the tomato itself. And I believe I showed you how to do that when we were planting tomatoes. If I haven't released that video yet, it'll be coming out in the next week or two. So let's move along. You can see the asparagus also doing great. Now this asparagus is years old. Actually moved it into my garden. When we built the house, I had to transplant it, but you could see that's two that are ready to pick there. Normally cut them off, but you can just break those at the right height. They'll break off. You just come through and pick that asparagus. Fresh asparagus, seared over a skillet, a little olive oil, some salt and pepper. That is good eating. So we'll definitely come back and do some checkup on these guys. Now, cucumbers. God, if you can overplant something, I think I overplanted cucumbers. I love cucumber sweet pickles. Look at these guys, got away from me. We had a good rain the last 2 days, and these things absolutely blew up. So I've got to get out here and pick today. You see all these pickles, all these cucumbers coming out. I got cucumbers everywhere. I can't keep up with them. I just did probably about 15 jar of sweet pickles and dill pickles today, and looks like I got pick more, and it's time to do another batch of pickles. So I'm going to keep moving down. Mention these super fantastic hybrid tomatoes. Again, look at it, absolutely loaded. So right on the edge of the cucumbers, have some more strike beans going here. I have some see my raised beds I rebuilt this season. Put me a nice little bench seat in the corner there. That's another video I'm going to be releasing here in probably about 2 weeks. Rebuilt my raised beds with a nice cap on top so I can set things as I'm working in the garden. Grandkids come in, sit on these. So definitely are excellent. I had the dog-eared cedar fence boards that lasted for 10 years. These are 2x12 garden boxes with the deck top, so that should last for decades. My flowers are starting to bloom here. I have planted. We have dahlias and zinnias coming up as well, so those should be budding here and flowering out in the next week or so. Take a look at these cherry tomato plants. These are some hybrid cherry tomatoes too. Look at the clusters of tomatoes on here. I've already started picking some of these lower. You can see it just looks like a grapevine, just loaded with tomatoes in here. So I've already started picking those, and basically fertilizing these tomatoes. If you've looked at the watch the fertilizer video, you know I use the LSU Ag Center's recommendations. Look at that bell pepper, nice, good bell pepper coming. A bunch of more right behind it. So we use the LSU Ag Center's recommendation for fertilizing as well as planting. Take a look at this tomato plant. When I say loaded, loaded. So tomatoes, we are side dressing those. It recommends every 4 weeks. I'm doing every 4 weeks, and that's the benefit of doing that every 4 weeks. You got so many, the foliage is covering it up. So I'm going to keep moving here. Have these Oriental Express zucchini. These are the long Oriental zucchini. See, these are the long Oriental style zucchini, and I have been waiting to grow these for 2 years. I just had I picked my first batch a couple days ago, and I cooked an Oriental teriyaki eggplant, onion, garlic. It was absolutely excellent. Now, what I like about these plants, they are extremely prolific. You can see all the purple flowers in there. Those are all eggplants. And you can see on the plant here, I'm getting twice as many eggplants off of these longer Oriental style than I am off of the globe traditional eggplants. Actually, I haven't even picked any of these larger globe eggplants yet. They're still maturing. They're flowering as well. Don't get me wrong, they're doing great. They just cannot compete with the production from these Oriental Express, the longer eggplant. So keep that in mind. Check out my my seed starting videos, and it has links to all the varieties I'm growing here. Again, these loaded tomato plants, just amazing. So something else I've tried already were these new variety of jalapeno plants. It's a variety called jalapeno M, and you can see they're loaded as well. If I can get underneath this foliage. So I've picked some of those as well. Now, I don't like a super hot jalapeno plant. I like to taste the jalapeno flavor and still be able to feel my tongue. These I chose because they are advertised as a mild jalapeno, and I've had a couple of them I cooked during the week, and they are indeed a mild jalapeno. They say if you buy a jalapeno in the store, it's 9 chances out of 10 that this is the jalapeno you're getting. Again, that's called jalapeno M variety, and I do recommend it. They are excellent, and they are putting out a lot of fruit. So moving right along, we have sunflowers, some more watermelons in here. I want to show you, look at some of this damage from pest. The actual #1 garden pest that I fight every year is something I can't do anything about. It is the beef cattle. So you see I have this wire up. The cows will actually come in, and you can see what happened. They topped the foliage on this sunflower, so it would have been a nice, beautiful bicolor sun gold sunflower. But they come and top. I had my cucumbers here up against the pasture last year, and they pretty much devoured all those cucumbers. So I do see a hot wire in the future for this section of the garden, but for now we'll just move right along. So you can see, finishing up here, I have these miniature sunflowers. So I'm gonna just order some more seeds of those. I'm gonna plant some more. These were a great addition, a nice pop in the garden for a little bit of color. So I do recommend them. They're a mini sunflower. They only get maybe 8 to 10 inches high. So I'll put a link in the description for these as well. So moving right along, like I said, we have another watermelon plant here. I have some edible flowers here that I can't remember the name of, but I'll put a description on the video. They're a spicy flower. You can see there's some more here, and they're edible. So you can pick this part, the green part, and then when it starts budding the flowers will be orange and yellow, and you can pick those, throw those in your salads as well. So also I have some dahlias and zinnias. You can actually see those are starting to bud up and put some flower heads on, so that'll be a nice pop to the garden. I got some more jalapeno plants here. You can see jalapeno. I'll need to tie those up. And oh, looky here. I think we just spotted our first tomato of the season. Absolutely is. Look at there. May 2nd, our first tomato of the season. A little bit of damage there on the side. So you can see it's not totally ripe, and I actually normally pick my tomatoes before they are this red. I will pick them just when they start to show the first blush of color, and that does two things. It lets the plant put more energy toward making more tomatoes, and it also, I have a bad problem in this area, southern Louisiana, zone 9A, a bad problem with stink bugs. Now, stink bugs haven't hit. That's one reason I plant the sunflowers, like you see right there in the corner. Those sunflowers attract the stink bugs for some reason, and that gives me a heads up on when they've hit my garden, and that'll let me try to cover those or pick as many as I can or start spraying. But if you pick them just when they start to flush with just a little bit of redness, they will ripen in the house, no problem. You cannot tell any difference in the flavor. So there we go, May 1st, our first tomatoes. So that is a whole, I have never picked a tomato in May before. June, usually the first couple days in June is the first time that I've picked tomatoes. So that's definitely a vote of confidence for the greenhouse we use. If you didn't see the greenhouse series, take a look at that little pop-up walk-in greenhouse. But it did amazing this year, and you can see the results from that. So back in this corner of the garden, we have some more eggplant, and you can see the globe style eggplant there versus the Oriental Long Express. You can see blooms everywhere. I count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 versus 2 blooms of the globe style eggplant. So again, here we have another plant of, just putting on some flowers of bell pepper. That's being shaded out a little bit by this tomato plant, so I may have to trim that back a little bit and give that bell pepper a little bit more light. But you can see here, this tomato here, that maybe a little bit more color than this, and I will go ahead and pick that, bring that on in the house to ripen. So that is a quick tour around the garden. So beans, actually I didn't show you here. I'm growing these beans in pots this year just for the simple fact that I was out of space. This is a 15-gallon pot. This is some yellow wax beans. I've picked about 4 pickings off of this, and it looks like I got another couple ready. And then these are probably ready to come out. And I'm going to be putting some okra back in these. I'll show you real quick. Up along the house, I have some Lorata French fingerling potatoes in some of these pots. And guys, they are doing absolutely excellent. I've never grown potatoes in pots. I will never probably grow potatoes in the earth again, just because it is so much easier. And I'll have a potato harvesting video ready probably in 2 or 3 weeks. We'll be harvesting those potatoes, and I will show you that as we dump those bags out. I've got the 15 gallon and 10 gallon pots we're growing those in, so I'll show you that real quick. So here you can see my potatoes in these 15 gallon pots. So they are probably, I'm guessing, maybe another 2 weeks. Just got a little bit of bug damage on these. Need to hit them with a little water, but they have been doing excellent. They jumped up after I planted them, and like I said, I'll be coming out with a potato planting series in these pots to see how these do. But I don't see any reason why I would go back to planting in the ground. Once these are done, we're going to dump them out onto a tarp, put the dirt back in these pots, and we're going to start some jambalaya okra plants from the Hoss Tools. That we ordered those the last couple days, and they should be in shortly. So that's it. That's what we're doing. Take a quick shot of the outside of the garden and the herb garden, and let's see what that's looking like. So here's my outside part of my garden. I got my herb garden here. You can see we have some sweet basil there. We got some sunflowers in the back. We've got some blueberry plants here. Some blueberries on them. This is sunflowers in the back, as I mentioned, to draw in those stink bugs. Have some onion tops and chives, as well as some parsley right here. This is a lemon tree that I am doing an espalier cut. If you've ever seen an espalier fruit tree, it's basically a plane. The branches grow out left and right. You cut everything else off and you have a single plane. So that'll be a lemon tree growing on the outside of this fence. And basically the branches will grow this way and the branches will grow that way. We'll do about 3 or 4 layers with that, and that'll be our espalier lemon tree. So we have some dill here as well. We had the parsley there, some dill. Again, look at these blueberries coming in nicely. We'll probably get ready to put a covering over those in the next week or so. Got some more zinnias and dahlias and flowers here, as well as a sunflower. Look at all the buds on this sunflower plant. The thing is just loaded. Folks, I was just talking about those stink bugs, and I believe this is the brown mammoth stink bug here. See, the wind's giving us a little trouble, and there it went. And here it is coming back. So I was just telling you how these sunflowers draw in those stink bugs. You can't plan that any better. There's the first one I've seen this season. That's the first dead one. Marsh Prepper 1, stink bug 0. So coming right along side here, more blueberry plants. And I do love these blueberries. I picked those, I put them in the freezer, and I put them in my overnight oats that I eat every morning when I get to work. Along with figs from the fig tree. You see another plant here I planted just recently, but it's coming on nice. And a bunch of these red stem flowers. Those spread like crazy. So all right, folks, that's it. Quick look at the garden. Hope you enjoy. Have any questions, just leave it in the comments below. Enjoying these hoops. Cucumbers going crazy. And yeah, just enjoying the flower. The weather's been excellent here in southern Louisiana. Like I said, again, zone 9A. See some more of the pretty flowers here popping. So don't be afraid to throw you some flowers in your garden. They're good to look at. They're beneficial for the insects, and you'll enjoy it. Got the beehives there in the back. All right, thanks for stopping by. Strike bush beans. They okay in my book, in my bushel basket, in my freezer. One plant, all from one plant. All of these are from one strike bush bean plant. The others I don't believe are quite ready yet, so that's why I grow strike bush beans. Another plant back here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Two plants. That's the second plant. Look at her, loaded. Absolutely loaded. Some of them we're going to let go a little bit longer. You can see there's still a couple I'm going to leave on here. Now I'll take that one off. Let them get a little bit bigger. Some more on the other side we can take off. So again, from one plant. That's not bad. You see I've only planted, I believe there's 4 plants right here. And got another mess of flowers coming on them. So we'll keep those going. Strike bush beans.